What's up? It's your girl, baby Christian. No, I'm just joking. Um, every time I'm in church, I be hearing people say, "Baby girl, you better learn how to work that word." So I was confused for the longest, and finally, I heard a sermon in church that explained what work the word means. And I also got revelation for real, when I saw Moses work God's word to constantly save the Israelites. So I'm about to read a passage out of my Bible. Okay, so I'm gonna read from Numbers 14, starting at verse 1, and I'm gonna go down to about like verse 25. All right, and I'm reading out of this the Common English Bible. A lot of people don't really know about this version. I like it better than the Message, but here you go right here. Numbers 14, verse 1. The entire community raised their voice, and the people wept that night. All the Israelites criticized Moses and Aaron. The entire community said to them, "If only we had died in the land of Egypt, or if only we had died in this desert. Why is the Lord bringing us to this land to fall by the sword? Our wives and our children will be taken by force. Wouldn't it be better for us to return to Egypt?" So they said to each other, "Let's pick a leader and let's go back to Egypt." Then Moses and Aaron fell on their faces before the assembled Israelite community. Verse 6. But Joshua, Nun's son, and Caleb, Jephunneh, I don't know how to say that, his son, from those who had explored the land, tore their clothes and said to the entire Israelite community, "The land we crossed through to explore is an exceptionally good land. If the Lord is pleased with us, he'll bring us into this land and give it to us. It's a land that's full of milk and honey." Verse 9. Only don't rebel against the Lord, and don't be afraid of the people of the land. They are our prey. Their defense has deserted them, but the Lord is with us, so don't be afraid of them. But the entire community intended to stone them. Alright, so just a little backtrack. God allowed he saved the Israelites by bringing them out of Egypt, and he was bringing them into the promised land, the land that he promised Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, their fathers, their ancestors. He promised to bring them into a land that was, like I said, full of milk and honey. So it was very prosperous, had great harvests and everything. But the Israelites kept delaying their journey of actually making it to the promised land, because every little thing that God did for them, they complained. So they said they ain't had no water. He gave them water. They said they ain't had no food. He gave them food. They complained about the food and how it was constantly the same thing, but yet they never missed a meal. So this time, God tells Moses to send the tribe leaders off to go be spies and check out the land before them. And they went on a 40-day trip to go check out the land. They brought back a big portion of grapes. It was so big that two men had to carry it like on a pole amongst each other. So they come back and bring the reports, but out of the 12 spies, only Joshua and Caleb has positive reports. Like they're like, "Yo, you forgot who God is. God brought us out of Egypt. He can get us through this." And the other 10 spies were negative. They was like, "Man, that land full of giants. They're rich. They're powerful. They will stomp on us." So because of this, um, because of this report, I'm gonna just show you how the Lord gets angry and how Moses intercedes on their behalf. So this is how you see intercession in the beginning, and how you learn how to work the word. And when I say work the word, I'm saying learn how to work God's word. When God like gives you a word, like maybe through a person that like maybe prophesy to you or something like that, you work that word by reminding him of his promise and what he said. He knows what he said, but you have to know it too in your heart, and you're showing him that you know what he said and you believe in that promise. So let's move on to Numbers 14, verse 11. Then the Lord's glory appeared in the meeting tent to all the Israelites. The Lord said to Moses, How long will these people disrespect me? And how long will they doubt me after all the signs that I performed among them? I'll strike them, I'll strike them down with a plague and disown them. Then I'll make you into a great nation, stronger than they are. Verse 13. Moses said to the Lord, the Egyptians will hear, for with your power you brought these people up from among them. They'll tell the inhabitants of this land, they've heard that you, Lord, are with this people. You, Lord, appear to them face to face. Your cloud stands over them. You go before them in a column of cloud by day and in a column of lighting by night. If you kill these people, every last one of them, the nations who hear about you will say, the Lord wasn't able to bring these people to the land that he solemnly promised to give them. So he slaughtered them in the desert. Now let my master's power be as great as you declared when you said, the Lord is very patient and absolutely loyal, forgiving wrongs and disloyalty. Yet he doesn't forego all punishment, disciplining the grandchild and the great grandchildren for their ancestors' wrongs. Verse 19. Please forgive the wrongs of these people because of your absolute loyalty, just as you've forgiven these people from their time in Egypt until now. Verse 20. Then the Lord said, I will forgive as you requested, but as I live and as the Lord's glory fills the entire earth, none of the men who saw my glory and the signs I did in Egypt and in the desert, but tested me these 10 times and haven't listened to my voice, will see the land I promised to their ancestors. All who disrespected me won't see it. Verse 24, but I'll bring my servant Caleb into the land that he explored, and his descendants will possess it because he has a different spirit, and he has remained true to me. Since the people in that land live in the valley, tomorrow turn and march into the desert by the route of the Red Sea. All right. So I read Numbers 14, verse 1 through 25, and pretty much that passage that I just read to you, Moses reminded God of his promise. And he learned how to work the word. So he said, Lord, you promised that you're going to take care of these people. And everybody have saw what you did, all the wonders and the miracles that you did to get them out of Egypt. Now, what would they say if they hear that all these people died off in the wilderness, in the desert? They're going to say, oh, the Lord ain't that almighty, that he can't even take care of his people. So that's how Moses worked the word. He number one, he reminded God of his promise. Number two, he pretty much revealed to God that he know what will happen if that word don't come true. So he showed God that he even more so that he believed in the word, even though the actions of the Israelites were trying to cease that word from coming to pass. So that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is how you work the word. And that right there is what gave me revelation on how to work the word. And actually, if you go back, I believe it's in Exodus. I can't really remember what chapter, but it's a story about Moses and the golden calf, like with the Israelites. That's that's the first time I actually seen him work the word. So just be mindful. When God gives you a word, he gives you a promise. Like he might say, you're going to be a great pastor or whatever. You're going to travel many countries or whatever. When you're going through hard times, even when you're not going through hard times, you're praying to God. From time to time, just remind him of his promise to you. You ain't got to keep on begging him and pleading with him like, Lord, you said you was going to do this. But if you're in that spirit to do that, then do that. But you don't have to constantly remind him every day. God knows what he said to you, whether you say it when you pray to him or not. But just by you saying it, you're speaking it into existence. You're letting him know, like, Lord, you told me this. I have faith that it's going to happen, and I'm going to line up with your will so that your word can come to pass. So by working the word, you're just letting him know that you know and you have faith and you believe that it will come true. And by having faith and not doubting, that's when things will happen. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's how you work the word. I hope that gave revelation to you guys. And I love you, man. And another thing to take away from this, don't be like the Israelites, man. Them people, they complain so much. God was was willing to kill them on numerous accounts. But if it wasn't for Moses interceding on their behalf, working the word on their behalf, you know, about the promise about that he made to these people through their ancestors, they would have been dead a long time ago. But God is a great God. Don't let that scare you. But also, you don't want to piss him off. So this has been a For the People Entertainment Public Service announcement. Learn how to work that word. Stay true to that word. Know that word. Put that word in your heart. Have faith in that word. And God shall let that word come true. All right, man. Y'all be blessed. Enjoy y'all week. I love y'all. I'm out.